It's that time. We're in court.
Come here, come to Nanny. I'll be your new nanny.
Proper.
Come here, gorgeous.
Is any officers used to asking people for rights on the book?
Am I used to it?
Yeah, know what to say with it.
No.
What
I mean,
rights?
Okay. Do you mean to swear them in, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so if they come through this door here or wherever they come from, when we call a witness down,
Just stand the other side.
Or do you
Is
want
it,
me to-
is it basically say, do you swear by the holy name to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God? Is it that?
that's the one, yes.
Oh, Molly's doing it then.
Fucking hell!
You set yourself up with that one, didn't you?
What is it? So what is it again? Say the thingy.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God?
So,
There you go, that's shorter than mine.
Right, what is it again? Sorry.
The person's name.
I'll read it out beforehand anyway.
Testing,
You just
1,
need to- You just need to repeat after me. So we'll do. This is how I'll do it. So I'll say, "Wait, please say after me." You'll say, "I."
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, I was in my head.
Followed by your name.
Hey, hook you.
Molly. Molly's dead.
Swear by Almighty God
Swear by Almighty God.
that I will tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
To tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
So we'll take it in stages, Erin, but I'll be telling you basically how to do it anyway. So you'll be fine. Don't worry about that.
Not gonna be easy.
Alright.
Yeah. I wish I never fucking opened my mouth now.
You fucked it now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Look, obviously, I just want to apologise, all right? Just want to apologise. I could hear you. It was just my hearing aid. And I just wanted to say, bigger the hope, bigger the... Oh, fucked it. Don't even worry about it.
Good evening, anyone, anywhere. My name is Lord Justice Mark Kersey, here with Unit Justice. Please don't mind the sudden falling that I am experiencing at the minute. We will go into that later on. So essentially, we are here today to hear the case between Noah Carter versus Munch and Crunch. I believe we are still waiting for some people to turn up, but we will be continuing to go ahead with this case,
Regardless.
with or without them. Is there anyone in this courtroom that understands this case prior to being here today?
No, mister.
Other than the lawyers and any witnesses?
No.
I will take that as a no. Okay, so there is a strict no weapons and no violence policy in this courtroom. If you are held in contempt, the police will arrest you and they will take you to the back room for questioning by a judge who will then decide your sentencing moving forward from there after his questioning. Is that understood?
Yeah.
What you eating?
Right. Can we all rise, please, for the Honourable Judge Raymond Arthurson, who will be overseeing this case? Raymond.
Thank you very much, Mark. You may all be seated.
He looks a bit nervous, that judge, doesn't he?
You wanna?
Put your vest on. Bob.
Sit down now, ladies.
Yeah, well,
Cheers.
you can sit down on me as well if you want, officer.
Going with the case, I am the Honourable Judge Raymond Arthurson. We are here today to hear case number MKKF 1108-2024-1. The plaintiff, Mr. Carter, has brought a claim against the defendant, Munch and Crunch, the business, concerning an incident that took place on the 11th of August 2024. The solicitors representing the parties are Mr. Mark Kersey. Mr. Craig Matthews, I believe, is not with us at this time, and Mr. Adam Solson. The facts of the case, as presented to this court, are as follows. On the 11th of August 2024, Mr. Noah Carter visited Munch and Crunch, a food establishment on San Andreas Avenue. Due to extended wait times, the restaurant offered complimentary meals to customer Mr. Carter. Upon receiving his meal, Mr. Carter observed that the food appeared raw and undercooked. He raised his concerns with the manager on duty, who assured him that the food was properly cooked and was safe to cook. Despite the reservations, Mr. Carter consumed the meal in the the presence of the manager. Shortly after, he experienced severe abdominal pain, followed by heavy bleeding from the mouth. Mr. Carter collapsed on the floor in front of the manager, who allegedly dragged him outside the establishment and left him on the sidewalk, stating, "I'm going to leave you out here to die and you're not welcome to come back." As a passerby intervened, talking to Mr. Carter, he took him to the nearest hospital, where he was treated for severe food poisoning by Dr. Seth Matthews. Mr. Carter's condition was stabilised, but he remains traumatised by the incident. I would then like to request the plaintiff solicitor to present your opening statement. Can I request your name and your rank, please?
Yes, Your Honour. So, my name is Mark Kersey. I'm Lord Justice within Unique Justice. I specialise in criminal law.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kersey, and please provide me with your opening statement.
May I approach the front of the courtroom, Your Honour?
May.
Thank you. So, Your Honour, and members of the courtroom, today we represent Mr. Noah Carter, who is here to seek justice and claim damages from Munch and Crunch for the severe harm that he endured during the gross negligence. On the 11th of August, Mr. Carter visited Munch and Crunch and was served a meal. He had raw and undercooked. And despite raising his concerns with the manager, who assured him the food was safe, Mr. Carter consumed the meal and suffered excruciating pain, severe bleeding, and ultimately collapsed to the ground. Instead of receiving the care and assistance any reasonable person would expect, the manager coldly dragged Mr. Carter outside of the restaurant, abandoning him in a life-threatening condition. Thankfully, a passerby rushed him into the hospital, where he was treated for severe food poisoning. So we are here today to hold Munch and Crunch accountable for the physical, emotional, financial damages that Mr. Carter has suffered as a result of their action. We will present evidence and call witnesses to establish the full extent of the harm caused and demonstrate the clear liability of the defendants in this case. Thank you, Your Honour. We trust that the evidence will show the severity of the defendant's negligence. We ask that the court grant relief for Mr. Carter that Mr. Carter rightly deserves. Thank you, Your Honour.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kersey. I would now like to call upon the defense solicitor, Mr. Adam Solson. Please approach. So if you can just present me with your name and your role, please, and then you can proceed with your opening statement. Thank you.
So I am Adam Salson. I am the head of defence in the Unique Law System, and I am here today to represent my defendant, which is Munch and Crunch. And here is my opening statement. The things that have gone off in Munch and Crunch occurred not long after opening in this town, and the prosecution is wrongfully they're wrongfully bringing them to court for stuff that they ate without being forcefully fed. So I am going to be defending my client, and today I would like to counterclaim for my defence side that slander has been occurred in this incident. Once that is sorted, I would like a public apology from the defensive side, from the prosecution side to the defensive side, and that is all we require.
Is that all from you, Mr. Adam Solson?
That is everything for now. Thank you, sir.
Noted. Thank you very much.
Right. Could I call up Dr. Tuesday Sanchez, please? Right, Mr.
Damn
Sanchez,
easy.
before we go into any further questioning, just to get things moving smoothly, can I have you grab that Bible for me? I'm going to just have you repeat after me, if that's okay, please.
Sure.
So I swear by Almighty God
I swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth,
that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. That's American.
So, Ms. Sanchez, on the 11th of August 2024, it is my understanding that my client Noah Carter was brought into UHS. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Could you explain to me, based off of the medical records that you have provided to us, what the symptoms were for my client?
The patient presented complaining primarily of stomach pain. He, in addition, did have some abrasions and lacerations. Understanding was that was due to being shoved by one of the staff members at Munch and Crunch.
Okay. And approximately, how many cases were brought in with food poisoning that day?
Would you allow me a moment to review my MDT?
That's absolutely fine. Is that okay with you, Your Honor?
We have documented at least 7 cases.
So this wasn't just an isolated incident, is that correct?
That's correct.
And based on the medical records that you have to hand, what are the symptoms that have been presented for every single one of these cases?
All patients presented complaining of abdominal pain. Some experienced nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea to various different extents.
Thank you. That's the only questions that I've got for Mr. Sanchez, Your Honor. Can I pass this over to Adam Selson for questioning?
Of course you can. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to call up Mr. Selson now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just coming forward now. Hello, Mrs. Sanchez.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Can you actually tell me the typical symptoms of food poisoning, please?
Typical symptoms of food poisoning would be a patient who presents with abdominal pain, experiencing nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, following ingesting some sort of food.
Okay, and has any extreme cases actually come into your surgery with, you know, bleeding, maybe, I don't know, life-threatening illnesses or anything like that?
Your Honor, leading.
Your Honor, I'm going by a symptom that the client of the prosecution has claimed to have from food poisoning. This is a valid question. The prosecution has said it was bleeding that was caused by food poisoning. I would like this in court to say that it was verified by a medical person or medical experience person can tell me if that is a case of truth.
I retract my statement there then, Your Honor.
Sorry, did an objection?
Yeah, I was objecting with the case of bleeding, but after the explanation there, I will retract that statement, Your Honor.
No worries, thank you very much. Please proceed with your case, Mr. Selson.
Has anyone come to your surgery other than the one person that has claimed to have had bleeding come into your surgery saying, I've got food poisoning and have bled from the mouth?
May I have 1 moment to review my MDT?
Yes, you may.
We did have one patient who presented with also complaints of bleeding. We did not attribute that, however, to the food.
Okay, and this was down to food poisoning, or was this anything else in there that could have caused the
Objection,
bleeding?
Your Honor, leading.
Objection. Please explain the reason for your objection.
Or speculation, actually, as I've just quite rightfully been reminded. Speculating on the facts there with regards to whether something is the correct thing or not.
Right, that is noted. An objection is sustained. So, if Mr. Selson, if you can rephrase for me or move on to your next question.
Okay. Right. Has anyone been in your surgery with the same symptoms as the plaintiff? Exactly the same.
The plaintiff suffered bleeding secondary, as I understand per the medical record, from the injury of being shoved, not from the food poisoning. There have been other patients that presented with the same symptoms of abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The bleeding would be a separate element secondary to the physical injury.
So it would have been a physical injury that would have caused the bleeding? Is that what you had just said?
My understanding, according to the record, is that the bleeding was secondary to a trauma from the fall.
Okay. That is the questions I have for now, Your Honour.
Thank you very much.
Please approach the bench, officer.
Thank you.
If you could just state your name for me and your rank within the police force, and then you will need to pick up that Bible and follow
Yeah.
the words of
I'm
Mr.
PC Cook with Unique PD.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Please.
I've got the Bible.
Yeah, sure,
in
no.
hand.
Thank you very much. So just repeat after me. So I swear by Almighty God
I swear by Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth,
that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth,
the whole truth, and
The whole
nothing but
truth.
the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So I only have a couple of questions for yourself. So what were your involvement?
This is gonna be
on
hard.
that particular date? Were you a customer of Munch and Crunch?
My evidence in this situation, sir, is not down to that day. It's a recent event. If I may.
Can you bring this in?
Will you allow this?
Objection, Your Honour. This is actually meant to be from the
Is it
day.
relevant to the case at
It is
any-
relevant to the case, sir. In fact, sir, I have some evidence in my pocket.
Your Honour, that evidence could be in his pocket.
Or are we stopping you halfway?
Objection.
Absolutely, sir. If it's not relevant, feel
Your
free
Honour,
to stop.
objection. This food could be in his pocket for the last 3 days. This is not right.
In fact,
Your
if
Honour, I
I'm-
will agree to this as well.
You're welcome.
my body camera will say different.
Is he not hearing me?
If I may, you can always stop me if needed. Earlier today, I went
Did
to
my
Munch
objection not
to get some food,
Disgusting.
where I was given
Keep an eye on that.
4 glizzy gobblers that have not been cooked. Your Honour, may I please pass you these glizzy gobblers?
Yes, please do so.
What is your lucky number, Your Honour?
Yes, thank
Your Honour, I called objection.
Yeah.
These
Your Honour,
glizzy
he's
gobblers
speaking as
aren't
loud as
mouldy
possible.
glizzy gobblers. These are uncooked
Yeah.
glizzy gobblers.
I can see that, so I will accept that evidence.
That lawyer is calling objection, just let you know.
I was calling it for a while.
You need to go into your
Are you-
shout
are
box
you
because you are
shouting,
very
mate?
quiet from all the...
I've got it.
Flex your F11 muscle, mate. Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Wrong one.
Oh.
It's F10 muscle. Not
Ow.
Flex it again.
Ow, ow,
Flex it
ow,
again.
ow.
Flex it again, mate.
I will consider that. Alright, but if you
Baby,
can carry on with your case
Stand
now.
Yes.
Wendy,
Right. So what is the evidence that you brought to light today?
get up,
It is 4 glizzy gobblers that have not been cooked.
get up, Wendy.
Have you eaten any of these individual items?
I did eat, so tried to eat one of the glizzy gobblers where I was met with a hard interior of uncooked
Okay.
meat.
Wendy, flex your F11 again.
What were your initial reactions to this?
My initial
Sit
reactions
down.
were, 'cause I was very hungry at the time. My initial reactions were, kind of scared. I didn't know what was going to happen to me if I was eating raw food that hadn't been cooked. I was worried. It caused me a bit of anxiety, in fact.
Okay. Upon receiving said items and attempting to eat them, did you approach the staff members inside the building to let them know?
I did not, sir. I was responding to an emergency call, so I did not have the time.
I've got to figure out how to shout.
Okay. No further questions from myself, Your Honour.
Thank you very much. Mr. Silson, would you like to question this officer?
Yes, Your Honour. Yes, I would. So, you say you've been going there. You've been having food on a regular basis, I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
Is this the first time that you've had this?
It's the first time I've had this incident, yes, but the other times I've been met with quite unpleasant attitudes from the staff.
Have you reported this to the manager at the time?
In fact, the attitudes came from the manager.
Can you name the manager for me?
I don't know what his name is, but I know what he looks like.
As it stands without a name, I can't say that's a manager or not.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, they were a manager.
With the food in your pocket, what's to say that that's not been in your pocket for about 5 days?
It's not food like that, sir. It's not food that's gone mouldy. It's uncooked food, so it hasn't even been cooked once. And the judge can see that.
Do you have proof that you didn't ask for uncooked food? Do you have proof that you asked for
my body camera.
You do have evidence?
Yeah, I do have evidence. My body camera, sir.
Has it been provided to the court?
Not yet, sir.
Well, it was meant to have been provided before this. Any evidence at the moment will be null and void, as it needs to be with him. So for all I know...
And I agree with these statements.
Fair enough.
You do need to bring evidence in before this, unfortunately. So, I have no further questions, Your Honour. As far as I can see, this is none.
Fair enough.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sosa. You both may take a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honour, I have no further witnesses to bring forward, as they're all unavailable at this moment in time. Mr. Salson, do you have any further witnesses?
Yes. Yes, I do. I would like to bring up... Okay, I do apologise. Yes, I want to call up Mr. Davy Silverfox to the stand.
Davy Silverfox to the stand, thank you. Silence. In it.
I, Davy Silverfox.
I, Davy Silverfox.
Swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
To His Honourable Judge Arthurson.
To the Honourable Judge
we can't hear Mr.
Arthurson.
Thank you. And if you can also make sure you're on your loud voice as well, please, Mr.
Is that better for you?
Jesus Christ.
I am just checking...
I think that is better.
Just checking now if I can do that. You can lower your hands, by the way, Mr. Silverfox. Davy Silverfox, can I ask you your role in the UHS, please?
Yep, number 2 ACMO. Joint with Tuesday over there.
If you can speak up again, please, Mr.
Is that better for you?
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm the ACMO of UHS.
And where does that actually put you in the standings with the hospital?
That puts me in second in command with Tuesday Sanchez.
Okay, and would you say you're more at the front desk than you are in the office?
I'm a bit of everywhere, to be fair. But I mainly try to get my hands in on the ward, in the office, out on the road.
That's fine with me. I just want to know, how quick can a food poisoning case kick in?
Well, it depends what food you eat. Can start anywhere from half an hour to 6 days' time.
So it can't hit instantly or very shortly after consuming, like, 10, 15 minutes?
Well, it just depends what you eat. If it's liquid formed, I would say yes.
Solid form?
Maybe solid, I would say anywhere from half an hour onwards.
And can anything that is solid form make you bleed without injuries?
Bleed.
Objection, Your Honour, lead in.
Objection, please state your reason for objection.
So the reason for objection is because it is leading the witness there for an answer relating to a particular question.
Huh?
Objection.
He's looking for a particular action. Particular answer, sorry, Your Honour.
Yeah, That is noted. Objection is sustained. If you can please rephrase or move on to the next question, please, Mr. Sosa.
Of course, Your Honour. Has anyone come in with a bleeding case that has not had any other marks on them or anything that could have caused any serious issues internally?
Well, we've had a lot of patients in and out. So every like I don't deal with every patient, so I can't say yes and I can't say no.
Could, let's potentially say, a claimant, if he bit into the food hard enough and it actually bit his tongue, could that cause the bleeding to come out?
Objection, Your Honour. Leading.
Objection, please state your reason for objection. Please.
Same reason as before. It's prompting a particular answer out of the witness.
Yeah, noted. Thank you. If you can, once again, please rephrase this question, please.
Okay. If the cooked food that was actually in question, if it was as raw as the claimant has said, can that look like there was bleeding from the mouth?
Honestly, yes and no.
I mean, it's got to be very rare, correct?
Yeah.
Objection, Your Honour. Leading. Same reason as before.
Your Honour, this is literally, I'm trying to find out if a raw meat can bleed that much out of a mouth.
If you can rephrase it in another form.
Objection, Your Honour. Just with regards to that, may I... So Dr. Tuesday Sanchez has already mentioned that there was an unrelated situation with the bleeding to the mouth.
Yeah.
The objection will be sustained, and if you can move on from that question, please, that would be good. We'd appreciate it.
So, at this moment in time, I am happy with what the Mr. Davy Silverfox has said on the stand, and I will be happy to say no more questions at this present time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sosin. You may take a seat.
No further questions from myself, Your Honour.
No further questions, perfect. Mr. Silverfox, thank you very much for coming up to the bench.
Thank you, Your Honour.
Your Honour, due to limitations of witness availability at this moment in time, I've got no further witnesses to call up.
No further witnesses, perfect. Thank you very much.
I have one more witness, Your Honour.
One more witness, please call him. Dan, thank you.
My last witness, as one of my main witnesses is not here, I would like to call up Mr. Tommy Richardson, an employee of Munch and Crunch.
Tommy Richardson, please come up to the bench.
Full name, please, sir.
Tommy Richardson.
And your Ryan Cat Munch and Crunch, please.
Sorry, what was that?
Your Ryan
And I
Cat
work.
Munch.
I just work on the tills.
Just on the till. So you're just an employee.
Yeah, just an employee.
Alright, so if you can please raise your left hand after me. I, Tommy Richardson.
I, Tommy Richardson.
Swear by Almighty God.
Swear by Almighty God.
To tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
To tell the whole truth.
Judge Arthurson.
No more than the truth.
Thank you very much. You may release your left hand. And Mr. Adam Sawson, please go ahead with your case. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honour, thank you. So, Mr. Tommy Richardson, you have been working at Munch and Crunch how long?
Been there for since open, pretty much.
Okay, and was you on shift at the time of the incident that has occurred?
Don't believe I was.
No. So, when you're actually working on shift, how often do you see the claimant in the actual restaurant itself?
I've seen him a few times in the restaurant, but multiple occasions in the car park or around the grounds.
Is this before or after the incident took place?
After.
After. So you're telling me that the claimant, who is allegedly saying that they have had food poisoning from your restaurant, is going back for more food?
I believe so. I don't think he'd be there to hang out.
And then what happens when he eats the food? Can you tell me exactly how?
Objection, Your Honour, leading.
Yeah, the objection for that will be sustained. Please rephrase and move on to the next question.
Do you have any issues with Noah Carter?
I don't have no issues.
Objection, Your Honour, argumentative.
I'm asking a question that I didn't get to finish, Your Honour.
Can you please go ahead with the question so I can hear the full...
I'm asking if he had any issues with Noah Carter regarding the food that has been served when this person has been on shift.
Yes, slightly. He did come across very aggressive outside of Munch and Crunch and say that people should not be coming through to Munch and Crunch because we don't sell the food properly.
Okay, is that the only thing that has happened?
No, I did get assaulted by Noah as well.
And this was actually reported to the police, was it not?
Yeah, I believe so.
Did the police contact you regarding this incident?
No.
So no follow-up was happened. But yet, Mr. Noah keeps going back to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Still eating the food?
As far as I know.
Can I ask, did you instigate any sort of issue that would have caused Noah to be angry at that time?
Nope.
So he punched you for no reason at the time?
Objection, Your Honour, leading.
Your Honour, evidence has been supported of this. This has been submitted.
Right, okay, I have put... If you can please proceed with your question, and we can go from...
Did you intimidate or any sort of confrontation with Miss Noakar that would have led to you being assaulted outside the front door, and any reason why?
Not while I was being attacked.
So
I would personally like to recommend that answer is rephrased, if that's okay, please.
Yeah, if you get rephrase of the question, I'll accept.
The question or the answer, Your Honour? He asked...
The answer, Your Honour.
It's
very unclear.
There was no authorization or arguments or talkative moments between me and Noah before I was attacked.
Your Honour, the evidence actually shows that there was no interaction at the time. This would put the claimant in a position that is aggravated with no reason.
Yes, nothing to think about much, Mr. Sultan.
I do not have any more questions. Thank you for your time, Tommy.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Kersey, do you have any questions?
I do, Your Honour.
Oh, Tommy.
May I approach, Your Honour?
You may approach, yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Richardson, you're still under oath, alright?
Yep.
I've got this.
Please go ahead.
Mr. Richardson, I do have a couple of questions for yourself related to your employment role at Munch and Crud. So I would like to know if any form of food safety compliance has been carried out by the business with yourself and other employees.
Can you rephrase the question so I can understand?
Absolutely. So, with business regulations being part of a food environment, you are required to undergo some sort of food safety training. Have any of the employees at Munch and Crunch been provided said training?
Objection, Your Honour. The company was only open a day and a half. They were still under training as it was progressing. This is an invalid question.
I will sustain that objection. If you can please move on to your next question, Mr. Kersey, or rephrase it in your...
Subsequently, Your Honour, I would like to object to that objection. It's a very valid question with regards to this, as due to the ongoing training, prior to these people entering into the establishment, they should have undergone some sort of food safety training provided by the management team.
Your Honour, this objection that I've made is because they was under shadowing at the time as well. They were still being trained up at that time. This objection is legally binding that I'm trying to point out. They was going under training at the time.
Yeah, all evidence that I've been provided with, I have witnessed myself. For the time being, I'm going to sustain the objection. If you can please...
No further questions, Your Honour.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Wilson.
If it's okay with Your Honour, I would like to actually call one person up that I actually had a phone call with at the time that some investigations were going off. And that person would be Mr. Mark Kersey himself.
I will approach the stand, Your Honour.
Please approach the stand.
Do I have the right to question myself, Your Honour? I'm joking.
Let me just decide in that one.
Let me stand up for you.
Alright, Mr. Silson, go ahead, please.
Am I required to swear on and off, Your Honour?
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Mr. Silson if you wanted, or I can...
No problem.
Of course, Your Honour.
Still do it, Mr. Silson.
I want you to repeat after me, please.
Absolutely. Let me just grab hold of the Bible. 2 seconds.
I swear.
I swear.
By Almighty God.
By Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give.
That the evidence I shall give.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Mr. Kersey, you checked out some of the food at the time in question of this investigation, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Did you taste any of the food that was in question?
I did, yes.
Can I ask for the symptoms?
So I had a rather unpleasant stomach after eating some of the food, I believe.
Very sorry to interrupt.
So yes, obviously when I bit into a glizzy gobbler, which was the item of food that I purchased, usually going there for 5 and 5, which is the usual what people order. Upon biting into the individual item, I had a very unpleasant taste in my mouth. It tasted quite cold in the middle. Shortly after this, I'd say about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, I started experiencing quite bad stomach pains, to which I went down to the hospital to be checked over.
Okay, and did you examine the food before actually sampling it?
It looked warm on the outside, but obviously you can't really tell whether the item is cooked until you bite into it. It was steaming hot from the outside, but not cooked thoroughly in the inside.
Okay, so you couldn't tell that there was obvious raw meat?
Not at the time, no.
And that would say that, you know, my defendant here would have been able to say it was cooked because that's how it looked, as you just said?
Potentially, yes. Very valid question.
So, are they actually liable if it looks cooked and you ate it?
Objection, Your Honour, that's quite leading. I don't know whether I'm allowed to object when I'm a witness, but I've got no defence over there.
Your Honour, it is a...
Sorry, go ahead.
It is a valid question. They haven't forced the food to this client at the time. They ate it freely and willingly. There was no forced eating.
Yeah, I'm happy for that question to go ahead. Just do be careful for the future.
Could you repeat the question for me then, please?
Oh, no, stand back.
So obviously, if it looked cooked on the outside, my client could not tell if it was raw in the middle, because obviously you just admitted it looked cooked. But when you ate into it, you found out it was a bit raw in the middle. So
it wasn't cooked thoroughly.
But you said it
Cooked
looked
on the
cooked.
outside, but raw on the inside.
So my client wouldn't have been able to tell that. They would have seen it as cooked, correct?
If they would have had temperature gauges inside of the restaurant, then they would have known that it wasn't up to temperatures.
But you wasn't forced to eat it, correct?
I ate my own accord, yes.
So this
I was
would,
under the impression that it was cooked.
so this would have been on you yourself for eating that, correct?
Yes, I'm not putting any evidence towards about this for myself.
Okay.
Because I ate this on my own accord.
So, how would you go about if the client that you are representing had said, I've got raw food, the manager says it looks cooked. This person has obviously checked the food over and said it's raw, but then eats it because he's been told it's cooked. If he's checked it, should he have not ate it?
John, I watched them.
Valid question, but I'm unsure how to answer that one.
I'm only going on. I don't know if he needs someone's hand to hold to tell him what to do and what not to do. I'm actually asking a valid question of, if you have examined the food and it's raw in your eyes, you could have asked someone else to either chuck it back in the oven. You could have asked for a fresh order. But instead, he went on the word of it's cooked and ate it. Would you have done the same?
I would have done, yes, because I've purchased an item from the shop. The workers told me that it's cooked and I'd have eaten it.
Unfortunately, it was not purchased. It was a freebie. This was complimentary, free on the house. You did not have any obligation to eat this food, but yet you and your client ate food that you have both said is, well, your client said raw, you said it was raw in the middle, but you claimed it was cooked on the outside.
Your Honour, I would like to ask Mr. Selson a question with this, if I may.
You may.
So, even though the food was provided for free, there is still an implied contract between Mr. Carter and Munch and Crunch that the food would be safe and fit for consumption. However, this implied contract was breached when the restaurant provided a meal that was not safe, resulting in severe physical harm of food poisoning. This, like I said, may have been provided for free, but there's still an implied contract between the business and my client.
But again,
as with any other client that would be attending their business.
But a client,
customer, sorry.
Again, your client actually checked the food and said it looked raw, but instead of actually returning it to the counter to get it recooked or get a fresh order, he decided to eat it anyway. This is examined by your client. In his witness statement, he even specifies he examined this food.
Fair question, unsure on how to answer that one without my client being here.
And Your Honour, I would like to postpone the sentencing until we can get the client in, so we can ask these valid questions and get this going further. I would like to point out that everything that is here today has been sworn under oath.
I'll take it into consideration.
Thank you, Your Honour. No
Your
further
Honour,
questions.
I do have something to say to the court, which is evidence that I provided in my initial letter towards yourself. Obviously, the client from Munch and Crunch, Mr. Buju Dynamoses, is not here today.
Right, yeah.
It's alright. Just take us.
Yes, Mr. Buju,
So
May I speak really quick, Your Honour?
I am aware of the people that have not turned up that should have.
Yeah.
They will
This isn't anything in relation to that, Your Honour. It's just obviously I'm presenting findings that I found myself after speaking to Mr. Irie outside of Munch and Crunch, which has been caught on recording, by the way, which you've also received as evidence.
Yep. Okay.
So upon obviously speaking to Mr. Irie, I mentioned to him that there was possible food safety concerns within the restaurant. Mr. Irie appeared very irate at first, but after a brief conversation with Mr. Irie, this was reported back to myself, and I say this quote unquote, which is on recording, you've also received. They must be using out-of-date stock that has gone past its expiration date, which says to me that the employee is not being trained safely and properly to do this role.
I want to point out, Your Honour, that Mr. Noah Carter has not been able to be questioned by the defence side, as we have not been able to get in contact with him. There was an arrest warrant out for him, which got dropped.
Yeah, Bond, keep hold of him.
Right. All that will be taken into consideration.
And with regards to that statement that I just provided then, Your Honour, was a valid statement, which I provided earlier on with regards to the training of the individual. May I repeat my statement just then, Your Honour?
Go ahead, please.
So given the statement that I was provided by Mr. Irie, which again has been recorded and sent off as evidence, which you have received, Your Honour, that then sort of adds on to my question to the witness from earlier on. Have they been provided with proper food safety training? Despite the fact that this business was only open a day, this is still continuing to this day. Allegedly.
With the training, you've got to remember that shadowing also comes under this to make sure they're doing their job right. If things are not, they are to be questioned by the employers, not by customers.
And if the management, for example, are not questioning this, are they operating within the food safety guidelines?
As far as I have been told, the training has been sufficient on the day to say that you are going to be shadowing people and you will be following how it should be done. Then they will be following that through. Obviously, if people who neglect that training and they do mess up and they continuously mess up, they would be sacked from the job for negligence of their cooking. That is after so many days of training, not a day and a half in.
But I reiterate my statement just then, given the fact that this is allegedly still going on to today, states otherwise.
But we're going on the course of that day. You cannot bring in to the present date. I could bring in a lot of people for the present date. You are asking me to go back out there, get more statements, get more witness stuff, get more evidence, to bring in up to this date today. The court date was from the time of the incident, not today.
Right, I retract my statement, Your Honour.
Okay, thank you.
No further questions, Your Honour.
No further questions as well, Your Honour.
Thank you very much.
May I take a seat?
Due to the trial, this is an unusual sentencing. There will be no actual term of imprisonment for any. It's more after a long decision using the evidence that I have been provided with and the arguments provided to me today. I believe that Mr. Noah Carter did return to Munch and Crunch to cause unnecessary bother with malicious intent. That being said, I'm going to issue Mr. Carter a fine plus the court costs. That is all I'm going to put on Mr. Carter. Moving on to Munch and Crunch for the cause of food poisoning. I believe that I have saw enough evidence and there has been multiple victims in this case. And I believe that it is suitable for compensation to be paid to Mr. Carter. Also, a health and safety investigation will be occurring due to these horrific outcome.
No way.
No closure to the business or to any individuals at Munch and Crunch. But the health and safety investigation will take place as soon as possible, as it can happen. This will be an inspection on the business, and that will determine the future for Munch and Crunch. That being said, Mr. Carter's fines and court costs will be dealt with as soon as I can meet him in person. That will conclude this trial, and the court is adjourned. Please all rise.
Your Honour. Thank you, Your Honour.
Thank you, Your Honour.
Thank you very much